Sean Brock back with you. Howdy, folks, howdy, I should have said. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. I'm getting tired of telling you that, you know. I'm a very repetitive person. Anyway, please do subscribe. Comment on anything that you might be working on. If there's something that you're struggling with that you kind of want to get another look at from another pair of ears, then let me know. If there's something you want to learn, let me know that too down in the comments. Please comment, subscribe, share, like. I don't do this stuff for my health. I've got to know that somebody's getting something out of it. Anyway, today we're taking a look at rhythm patterns and how rhythm patterns for most of the major keys, how they are used, and what all you might do with them. Because I've been seeing on a couple of the forums, on the Acoustic Guitar Forum and the unofficial Martin Guitar Forum, both places are places I spend my time, a lot of time, along with Mandolin Cafe. But I've been seeing some posts on there. People say they are still struggling. They've been working on it a while, but they're kind of struggling on getting rhythm patterns and strumming techniques down. So today we'll take a look at a few of these and just see what we can kind of come up with. Obviously, if we were talking about bluegrass music, a lot of folk music, they called the key of G the people's key for a reason. There's so much written out of the key of G. If you're utilizing a capo, you play a lot of G-shape stuff up and down the fretboard. So G is the one we're going to start off with. It's one of the more important of all the keys. Something that we want to talk about when we talk about rhythm patterns is exactly not just the pattern, but what our right hand is doing. Because a basic rhythm pattern will follow a line of the bass notes, and that's basic. You might have noticed when I was playing in the key of D, I went up and hit that, you know, and that's not got anything to do with the bass notes. It's to complement things. That's a little more advanced, but we're going to get into some of that as well. But the key of G, if we were playing the bass, you know, that would be our notes, our 1 and 5, our G and D notes. So when we play a rhythm pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. What we're doing there is 1, 2, 3, 4. We're hitting the root, obviously, on the 1. And we're getting a down strum on our 2. 1, 2, or between our 1 and 2. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a... And there's a few different licks that some people will use. The problem they have is going it's the half strums from the that seem to get a lot of people. And I've heard these some of the rhythm strums people use as by an old friend of mine. If you ask him if a rhythm player was any good, and they couldn't hold in bluegrass, he would say, well, he's got that country lick. And when he talked about the country lick, he meant that everything was down. The rhythm player would go. Oh, I went up. Sorry. But it would be down, down, down. In other words, he never played an up strum. His up strum was silent. And he would call that the country lick. And there was the other one, which was the all-dreaded church lick that he referred to. And what he meant by a church lick was somebody that went straight down and straight up. So instead of, they would go. And there are places, there are spots in music where we use those. I don't know, Travis Tritt, Here's a Quarter. And then a lot of Larry Sparks stuff, say, like Taking the Slow Train or I'd Like to Be a Train. We might use those. But we want to focus on being able to do down, up. And when I'm doing that up, I'm grabbing the bottom two strings or the bottom three. So down, and we're stopping halfway in the middle. So the best way to work on this, if you haven't played a rhythm pattern at all, is to work with a metronome and play it very simple at first. Play the country lick. But once you're used to the stopping and starting points, then you have to start throwing the upstroke in there. 1, up, down, up. And then we can get a little more complicated. We'll add that open G into that. And a rhythm pattern for a C, here's a couple things. I'm doing an alternating there, where I'm doing down, and then I'm hitting that E note on the D string. And I'm also doing the G note. And I'll alternate those. C, E, C, G, C, E, C, G. So that gives you a little bit of variety there in what you're doing in the C chord. And the other good practice is, because we want to get different sounds out of our rhythm, throw that pinky down, grab that G note. You're just grabbing, the octave above your open string there, and make a 4-finger C chord. So work around with your pinky. And always keep in mind, too, if you're starting out, that most things that are great were discovered by accident. So don't be hesitant to lift a finger just to see, what does this do? Lot of stuff right there. Also, all in a C, alternate your third finger on your left hand. And what do I mean by that? We're getting those bass notes, so we're third finger on C, and we're letting that ring out, and then we're moving it over to the G, but we're keeping our first two fingers in the same shape. And you physically have to move that finger like that. You can't actually use it as a bar, because you'll mute out your D and your G strings. D, and we're just doing the root, the 1 and the 5 notes in the D. D, A, D. Okay, now a trick we can use in D. There's a few of them. We can open up, like I said, talking about dropping a finger. You know, just lifting that middle finger off of on our E string, letting that E string ring out free. Another one, a lot of folks do, is they'll bring their thumb up on that second fret. And they'll walk this. So our first root, we would start the root 1, and then A, and then that second fret, and walk it back up, A, D. All together, that's and then obviously you could change the way you're making depending on where you're going. You can make your D chord with leave your index finger out of that, so you got second finger, second fret on the G, third finger, second fret on the E, and we'd grab the D note, third fret B string with our pinky, and we could bring our index up to the top string at the second fret. And it depends on your hand structure, and you know, just the way you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable just curling that thumb slightly over the top of the neck. So that is D. A, and obviously there's so many ways we can make an A chord, but and what we're doing here is just these open two strings here, A, E, A, E, and then we can do a lot where we focus a little more toward the center of the guitar, A, E, our E note there, or we can do the octave above in our A note. E, E major. We're doing there is E, again our top two strings. And something that to play very, think Willie Nelson, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain. That was a pattern he used a lot. Well, we can throw this in, the octave above our open E. We can play second fret there on the A, E note, second fret with our third finger, We can take it all the way down. Okay. And since we're going on that B7 chord, we've got a few notes here. We got our B note, and we got that E flat there. We also got the same rule that we had in C. We can alternate our second finger. We're just making a pendulum out of our second finger. And again, it's trying to bar both of those top strings might get kind of ugly. You got to learn to walk that finger. And the exercise, if you're having a little trouble with that, is hold this B7 and go. Same thing in a C. Hammer that finger on there. Okay. F major, which would go along, obviously, trying the same rules. And we're just doing the F note as our root and the A note as our alternate. We also, you got that third finger pendulum. However, in an F, often I'll make a 4-finger F where I'll take that third finger from the root note, I'll put that on my C note, and I'll put my pinky on the root. Okay? So those are kind of the basics of the rhythm. The right hand movement is just extremely important, of being able to go all the way down, but then put the brakes on. Okay? And being able to alternate that third finger, being able to alternate that middle finger on our bass lines, being able to pull off our treble notes. Or and being able to pull off those treble notes is good. And those are just a few rhythm basics on patterns and a few chord tricks, a few exercises you can use. Hope this helps you guys out. I'll see you soon. Take care.